Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined again today for a little update episode by Cherice Ellison. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Fantastic. I'm excited to speak to you again. Let's give a little info about where you were the last time we spoke, which was about, I don't know, like 9 months ago, maybe?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Gosh, it seems
Yeah,
longer than that in a way, but
I
then
know.
like
I know.
yesterday in
That's
another
because so
way.
much has happened.
Right. I was unemployed and finally realizing my dream. I think at that point I had already done the founding families and I had
Mm-hmm.
4 children enrolled into my online preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I think I was like 9 months ago. Like, gosh, wow.
Right? A lot has changed. And I remember you wanted to do a local, but you didn't think you could because your dogs. Is that
Yes,
what
because
it
of my
was?
dog. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. Yes,
Yep.
because of my
Yep.
dog. And just that, when you've had a dream for so long, you didn't envision it kind of being in your house either. So it was like my
Mm-hmm.
dog, and this is not how I wanted to start it. And, all these
Mm-hmm.
different reasons of why you cannot do it,
Yeah.
versus just saying, why can you do it? Why, like looking at it in a
Ah,
positive way. And Joy actually kind of helped me with that.
nice. Of course you did. Of course you did. Okay. So where are you now, girl? Tell me
So
all about it.
now, so I had 4 online kiddos during from I think April until June or whatever, and then we had like a summer break, and then I had 2 kids drop to go to their local preschools. So then I still had 2 online, and then I gained another online kiddo, and so I have 3 online, and now I have 3 local.
Yay!
Yes,
You
yes, I have
opened
three
your
local.
local.
Yes, and so I started in October in the fall of last year, local. And so I had started with one, then I got another one, and then I just gained another one in last month. So
Awesome. So what changed with the dog thing? Does he stay upstairs? Is he part of the class? How's the dog doing?
he either is outside or in my bedroom.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And so what was the process of getting set up and how did you shift your mindset to I can't do this to I can do this?
Joy, break down to break free. And
Mm,
it was just
the
like,
summit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, well, like basically just the change of wording, why can't you? Like, why can you? And just
Mm,
looking at it in a different way on the basis of, your dog, does he have to be involved or, this, that, and the other? And, can he be outside? Can somebody else take him? Or can he, because, just the fact of his breed, it's just like, okay, it just made me uncomfortable.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it happens that all of my families have dogs or are getting a dog or love dogs. And so they're like, oh, not a big
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
deal.
Yep. Yeah,
And
totally. We just
so,
keep our dog upstairs with my husband. He like sits at his feet all day while he works from home. And
oh,
yeah, I mean, he would do that anyway, honestly. So
right.
it's not too bad.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so how did you get your signups? Did you do founding family? How tell me
no,
all about it.
I kind of just posted in Facebook.
Okay.
One of and 2 of my families actually live in my neighborhood. And
Oh,
so I
nice.
posted in my neighborhood Facebook group. And
Mm-hmm.
then the second family that I actually received, she actually found me by on Facebook as well by just putting in preschools. And
Nice.
so that's how she found me. They had just moved here, I think the month before or 2 months before from out of state. And so
Okay.
she needed her son to be somewhere. And so yeah, she looked me up and came for a tour, and her son didn't want to leave. And so she signed up.
Nice. That's always great when they have a hard time getting the kids out. I feel like they're like, okay, sweet,
Yes.
get them in.
Right. Exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, well, how about we come do a trial day? And that was my way of just like getting him out the door so that my mom's like, okay, come
Yeah.
on. And he's like kicking and screaming. And I'm like, you can see
Yeah.
me on Monday. Come on Monday, come see me on
Mm-hmm.
Monday. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of how we got him out the door. And he came Monday and, and he wanted to join. He told his mom, like, I want to go to school there.
Perfect. I love that. I love when parents text me after a tour and we're like, he won't stop talking about coming back to your house. I'm like, yes, got him. So what part of your house did you turn into it?
I have a 3-bedroom house, and so it's just me and my dog. And so I actually turned one of my bedrooms into my preschool room. And so actually I'm sitting in it today.
Yay. Oh, I'm so happy that it happened for you, because I know you wanted it, and I know you had reservations, and now I love that it's happening. That's so great. Yeah. So what's your classes? What's your class schedule?
I do 9 to 12, and right now this class is Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. And how much do you charge for that?
I charge $380. Also, I just went blank. $380 a month for my local.
Awesome. And do you have a niche for that, or is it just preschool, regular preschool?
It's social emotional and play based. And so it's funny, I just got in the curriculum I'll be using for the social emotional piece. And so I'm super excited to introduce that to my kids.
What curriculum is that?
It's called Instill. Instill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's social emotional, and it has like puppets and different things like that. And it's through MVP Kids. And so I'm
what is it? MVP Kids?
MVP.
Okay. Would that be good to use? Do you use it with your online program too?
I think I'm going to try to do it with both. Yes.
Okay.
And so I just got it, so I'm looking over it.
Yeah. What kind of stuff is that? So is that just like a small component of your day that you're going to be using that with other curriculums, or is that the bulk of your like teaching time spent on that?
My goal is to kind of intertwine it throughout the day, because obviously the social emotional piece is so important, on the basis of interacting with your peers and following directions. And, it's the basis of what kindergarten teachers are looking for, when they go to kindergarten. When I've taught Head Start before, and I've talked to kindergarten teachers, and I've actually had employed prior kindergarten teachers when I worked in childcare, they do say that social emotional is so important. They much rather have a kid that can get along with their peers, follow directions, and that than versus the educational side of things. They say, I can teach that, it's the social piece that's a little bit harder sometimes when you have a class full of kids. So I figure, that's going to be my thing, because I always seem to gravitate to those kids that were more challenging anyways when I was teaching as well as a director. And so, and I just know the reason why is that something in them they haven't learned or haven't been taught. And so I want to make sure that moving forward that I can do my best to be able to teach those kids what they need to be able to interact with other people, and as well as to know that it's okay to have these feelings, but it's how we explain them, or how we that's what I'm looking for.
Using our words.
Yes, how we use our words and how we, express ourselves, appropriately.
Express ourselves. Right.
In that it's okay to be mad, but it's how do you express yourself? It's not okay to hit your friend because they took something. You have to use your words, or express yourself like, hey, that's mine. May I have that back, please? Or this, that, and the other. So.
I feel like that is like the most important part of preschool. And we spend so much of our time doing that anyway, to have a curriculum really focus on it, because I literally feel like I spend all day being like, we use our words. It's okay. The same thing you just said. It's okay to be angry, but we can't hit people, having a curriculum to really solidify better ways to teach that would really, really help. Definitely. And as an old, I'm teaching first and second grade before I started this, it's like, yeah, you can teach the kids to read. That's the easy part. When you have a kid who's throwing a chair because he never learned to use his words instead of throw chairs, then your entire class is derailed and no one's learning.
Exactly. Because I've been in this field for a long time, it'll be 27 years this year. And, I've worked in different places. I worked for, a lot of different companies. And a lot of times I see when I'm in the classroom is that a lot of times it's like, oh, use your words, but no one's really teaching them how to use their words, or no one's teaching them what they can do if they're mad, or what they can do if they're upset, or, are sad or happy, no one's, they're not really being taught. It's like adults, we automatically think that children know what we know, but we're teachers. Our job is to teach them because they don't know, just like putting out toys. Sometimes they don't know how to play with those toys. So it's our role to teach them how to use
Yeah.
said toys. Otherwise they're chucked across the room. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, we
Mhm.
don't throw those. Like, let me show you how we build with those instead,
Yeah.
and that's what I've noticed over the course of the time that I've been doing this, is that we forget that they're children and they don't come already knowing how to do certain things. And it's our
Yes. Oh my
role as
gosh.
the teacher to teach.
Yes, absolutely. It's funny with the toys because I forget that all the time. I get excited. I get excited for a new toy when we get it and I put it out and, and I just expect them to know how to use it. And then I very quickly realize that, oh, no, wait, of course they've never seen this before. And I've really been I've been reading so many books about parenting, mostly because I'm really trying to, become the best parent I could be for my little side guy. And I'm really trying to reframe my thinking with like the harder, the kids who are struggling with social emotional stuff,
Mhm.
instead of like, it's so hard to forget that like they're not doing this to be mean or to be, and
Right.
trying to reframe my thinking and into what are they not getting that they need? Like, what are they lacking right now that is causing them to do this? Because it's so easy to just think of
It
it like
is.
you would think of an adult, like, oh, they're doing this to hurt me, to make me upset. Like, no, what do they need? What need is not being filled that's making them act that way? But it's really
It,
hard to remember that, stop as the grown up and remember that and change your
it is.
thinking.
It is. It really is, because you can get in those power struggles and different things
Mhm.
like that. And it's like, one of the things that I had to remember is the fact that a behavior is telling you something.
Yes.
It's either a need for love, or I forget what it was. There's a saying that goes with it, which all of a sudden now, as I'm trying to tell
Mhm.
you, it's not there, but it's telling us something. And there's usually a
Mhm.
reason why they're doing what they're doing. They're not misbehaving because they enjoy it. It's usually because
Yep.
they have not been taught how to react in the situation that they're in. And so it's
Yes.
a lot easier for me to melt down and chuck things and throw things and have a tantrum than it is for me to express
Mhm.
what it is that I'm feeling, because they don't know
Yep.
how to do that.
Yep.
So,
I actually started a parenting book club with my preschool parents, so we can all kind of read
oh,
these books
cool.
together and then talk about it. And it's been really great. We've read How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen, which has been my favorite book. And then we also read The Five Love Languages of Children, which I had
Oh,
read the Five Love Languages for Your Partner a while ago, but
yeah.
I never really equated it to kids. And now I'm like, at all the kids, I'm like, ooh, like, what's her love language? Does she need a hug or does she need a word of encouragement? I'm trying to like just get inside, their little tiny psyches and figure out, because we're all, even them, they're all individuals and they're different.
Right.
And it's just so hard when you have a lot of them and you're just like trying to keep order. And in your head, you're like, I got to keep order. I got to keep order. And so you just forget that, like, no, they still need individual needs. It's not, your
Yes.
class is not going to be in order if each one isn't getting their needs fulfilled. And it's a lot to think about, but
Exactly.
it's so rewarding when you finally do, when you break through that barrier of like, I haven't been able to get through to this kid, and now I feel like I'm starting to. It's really rewarding.
Yes. It's so true, because like I just have the three and I can only have four anyways at one time without being
Mhm.
licensed. And just the different dynamics of the three kiddos that I have, two of them happen to be kind of developmentally delayed. And
Mm.
then one of them is the, typical child, and it's just on the basis of, and he's the one that needs the most attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And
Hmm.
it's just like the dynamics of them it's just been fun, like,
Yep.
and because he's an only child, even though two of them are only children, but he's the one that sometimes struggles a little bit of how to interact with the other kids, and
Hmm.
so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, oh, we need to, you need to use your words and tell him, like, oh, I want to build this by myself, or, oh, please don't knock it over, or,
Yeah.
you gotta, you screaming at him is not telling him what you need,
Hmm.
and so just giving him the
Yeah.
words, and because he's got a lot of vocabulary,
Hmm.
but he just doesn't know how to interact with other kids, in that
Hmm.
regard. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like as early childhood education teachers, we go straight to, a lot of times, like that, can you say you're sorry? That hurt, like trying to get them like, say this, like, and then I read one of the things I was reading, like, forcing children to say they're
say
sorry
sorry.
without like having them understand that is kind of like creating sociopaths, you know, because they're just
Right.
like going to do something like sorry and not understand the meaning behind it and not
Yes.
understand why someone else would want to hear that. But it's so easy to just be like, say you're sorry. Why did you do that? You know?
Right. I have stopped using that. Gosh, I don't know how long ago, because
Yeah.
went to a training or something about on that. And they were saying that kids aren't, 9 times out of 10, they're not sorry,
No.
because they,
Yeah.
for one, they don't understand what they've done was
Mhm.
wrong. And
Yep.
two is that they did it for a reason, you know?
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
totally.
so my thing is like, oh, look at so-and-so's face. Look,
Mhm.
how do they look? How do you think they feel when you did that?
Mhm.
You know, so I
Yes.
go that route versus say you're sorry. And then I've run into
Right.
kids, you know, because I kind of still substitute that. Well, like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, sorry doesn't always make it better. I was
Exactly.
like, look, because
And
they're
that's
still
what it turns
crying.
kids into. When you're just telling kids to say sorry, then they
Mhm.
think they can do whatever and be like, I'm sorry. And then it's better. And
Yes,
it's
you know,
not.
I've done an activity with my kids one time, when I was a director, and I crumbled up a piece of paper. You know, I was saying like mean things to the paper as I'm crumbling up. Oh, you know, I don't like you. You're not nice. Da 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 da. You know, and then I opened it back up and I was like, oh, but I'm sorry, but oh, look at the paper. Is the paper how it was the ways, you know, before? Is it, you know, nice and neat? And they're like, no. I said, well, that's how it feels when you say mean things to friends. I was like, just because you say sorry
Mm.
doesn't make the paper better, doesn't make your friend better,
Ooh,
you
I
know?
like
And
that.
so they're like, oh, I was like, so you have to, you know, be nice to our friends and say things that are nice to them, because otherwise it still hurts them. And sorry doesn't make it
Mhm.
better, you
Yeah,
know?
that's a
And
good
so try to
visual.
teach the visual of that.
Yeah.
So,
It's
you
such
know,
an important skill to like I have one kid who's very handsy, like very handsy with everybody, you know, and some kids are more physical touch, but he's the one to
yes,
like go up and tickle kids until they're like very uncomfortable or, you know, grab them into a big hug until they're very uncomfortable, you know. And so I'm trying so hard to get him to like realize people's body language, you know, like when you tickle them, she's going like this and she's making that face. How do you think she feel? Does she look like she wants that? Or it's so nice that you want to give your friends hugs, but look, he's pushing you away. So, you know, because
right,
there's so many grown-ups that don't see people's body language and understand
right,
it, you know, and like I see it all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is when it's taught, because you're not going to teach, you know, a grown up like when you touch someone that way, it doesn't, you know, and I feel like that, like a lot of older people maybe have that, you know, like that could be part of the whole Me Too movement, you know, it was like that
right,
generation, they just
right.
hugged people and touched them and they didn't know, you know, there
Mhm.
was no like read people's body language to realize they may be uncomfortable, you know, like stuff like that.
Yeah, even like with parents, like, oh, give your teacher a hug, and you have like, or you've done a
Mhm.
tour or something, the kid doesn't really know you, and like, oh, give them a
Yeah.
hug, and they're
Yeah.
like, this got this face, like, no, and I'm like, it's
Yes.
okay. I see a
Mm,
smile on your face. Thank you so much for coming. I love
mm,
your smile. I was like, the smile is
absolutely.
enough for me.
Yep.
You know, and
Totally.
just the fact
Yes.
that, yeah, I'm not gonna make the child hug me. I was like, they don't know me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if they did know me, sometimes they don't feel like it. You
Yeah,
know, they may not be in the
exactly.
mood for it.
Exactly.
So it's okay.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
oh, they're smiling. I was like, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe
Mhm.
tomorrow you want to give me a hug.
Yeah, totally. And even with my own baby, like there's times, you know, people like want to go and just grab him, you know, and I see
Mhm.
he's like, cause he doesn't know them or whatever. And I
Right.
want him to like feel safe and I want him to know that it's okay to, you know, he's really little, but I still want to give
Right.
him like the language, like it's okay. We say, you know, just need some space right now, you know, like just trying to give him that language because I don't want him to feel pressured to, you know, hug people he's uncomfortable hugging or stuff
Right.
like that. And I see it with the little kids all the time. Like, you know, the big boys want to come and hug the little girls, and the little girls are like this. And I'm like, tell them you need space. And I'm like, we need, you know, it's just so important to learn those things that, and so many parents, I feel like don't really realize what it's instilling in them when we're forcing them into things that make them uncomfortable. You know, when you
Right.
can clearly see it makes them uncomfortable, and we're just kind of do this, go give this person a hug or go do this to make them like to appease the adult. And what is that teaching them? Like, I should not listen to my instincts. I should do things that make me feel uncomfortable to appease other people, you know, just
Right.
things like that. That I feel like we're becoming more conscious of these things, but we haven't been in the past as like a culture or a whatever. We haven't been. And now I think it's starting to change with our, you know, it's starting to realize those things a little more.
Yes, definitely. You know, just like yesterday, um, two of my kiddos were looking out the window and, you know, at my dog, and one of them was like, oh, give me a hug. Cause, you know, I have a 2.5-year-old. He's really little, you know, and they're like, oh, he they treat him like the baby. And,
Mhm.
and he was like, oh, here, give me a hug. And I'm like, look at his body. He's saying no. I was like, he's not wanting a hug right now. I was like, he's too busy
Mhm.
looking at the dog, out the window. I was like, you need to use your words and ask and wait,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
look at his
everyone doesn't
body.
want me to touch them all the time. Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, it's so
So
funny. So
kids are,
how is your life different now? Getting back to the preschool, because I love that tangent that we go on because I'm so interested in all this and I go on tangents with people and they're like, yeah. So it's really nice to talk to someone else who cares about it. But
yes.
how is your life different now than it was a year ago with your
More
in-person
confident.
preschool?
More confident in the fact that I'm, obviously I have a preschool, but at the same time, it's like, what can I still do differently, on
Mhm.
the basis of to grow my preschool? Because obviously
Yep.
I still have other classes that I can fill,
Mhm.
and I know that there's people out there that need me,
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
what I have to
Totally.
offer. And so it's just a point of trying to figure out how to get myself to those people,
Mhm.
and to
Yep.
build the program, and whether in my home or outside the home, or just that I have such a big goal and dream.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, how do I get there, but yet focus here where I'm at right now.
Oh, girl, I am right where you are. It's so hard to stay present when you have so many dreams to make it bigger. Gosh, I know exactly what you mean there.
Yes.
So what are your plans to fill those classes?
um it's funny, because I was just talking to one of our all-star sisters earlier via message, and I was saying, I was like, yeah, I feel like I probably need to do a flyer drop somewhere, because it's just me, and I don't really have any teenagers in my life to be able to like go door to door or whatever. And so I
Mhm.
may just go out to like the Walmarts and the local grocery store, excuse me, and just drop flyers that way. As well as my anniversary is coming up, my first anniversary. So I'm going to do a field trip to the park. And so also bringing things there that day to be able to pass out as
Mm,
well.
yeah.
If there's other families
Get a
that'll
big
be there.
sign, get a little sign. I got like a dry erase board. When I do park things, I get a dry erase board and write my school name. And then, obviously the t-shirts and stuff, anything you can have your name on it, definitely.
Yes. And so yeah. And so I'm definitely thinking about doing that to get myself, I was like, you know what? We should take a field trip that day to the park.
Mhm.
It's free for
Totally.
one. And for two, there's
Yeah.
hopefully be a lot of other parents there that might be looking.
Hmm.
I
Yes.
did a poll question in a group that I am able to be in since I'm not a mom. And so this one group, I kind of asked what they were looking for in regards to preschool on the basis of whether full-time, part-time, 3 days a week and so forth. And I got a little bit of feedback from that. And it seems like there's parents that are mostly looking for like the 3-day a week part-time
Hmm.
schedule. So it's just a point of
Yep.
getting them here.
Getting it out there. Yeah, totally. Totally. Ooh, well, I know you'll do it. You'll do it. So how many kids can you have in one class? Because you said
I can have,
you're not licensed.
correct. I can
Okay.
have four. I can have four.
Okay. Okay. So you almost filled one class.
Yes, I almost feel one class. I know. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, one class is almost full.
Yeah,
Um,
totally. And now you'll be getting word of mouth and stuff. And are your online students local or are they spread out throughout the country?
it's funny because two are in my state, but they're not close enough to attend, and
Okay.
so they're about maybe like an hour, hour and a half away, and then one's
Hmm.
in Texas.
Okay. And do you give like referral bonuses
I
for
haven't
the online
yet.
and then
Yeah,
okay.
I
Do
haven't yet
that.
because
Do that.
yeah, because part of me is still like, with the online, I'm like, do I still want to grow it? Because right now it takes a class away. Like so I can't have a
Mm,
Tuesday, Thursday morning class because that's when I have my
yeah.
online. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm still in the point like, do I still want to do it and take a season just
Yeah.
to grow the local and then come back to
Hmm.
online? Or do I want to
Totally.
just, because these are my founding families, two of them, they've been with me for almost a year. So
Oh
do I
yeah.
just stay and like continue to try to grow that too? And so it's just
Mhm.
like all these different things, but my brain is just like,
Yeah.
it's so much.
I know. I had to stop my online program once I had the baby because I just couldn't do it. But even then, I had to switch the times because I was doing it in the morning. And then when my local started, I had to switch it to afternoon, which was just hard. It was just a lot to do. And even now, I'm starting it back up, my online. And I'm like, the only time that I can do the live is at 4 o'clock. I can't do it during the morning or during the
Right.
afternoon. And that's just like, it's hard to do that. And it's like a weird time to do. How many people even want like 4 o'clock? And if it's East Coast, people, if kids are on the East Coast, then it's
Yes.
7 o'clock then, and then that's bedtime. So yeah, I'm
Right.
struggling with
And
that
my,
too, with the
you
time.
know, in my Texas kid, that would be 6 o'clock for him. And so I'm like,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not 4 o'clock's not going to work. Cause I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, 4. I was like, oh, I could do that. That's probably be good. Cause it's 4 o'clock here. So the two that are here in this
Yeah.
state, that'll be fine. But oh, wait,
Mhm.
no, I have this Texas kid. Like, that's probably not going to be great for him, like, at
Yeah.
6 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, how can I make this work?
I know. I
you
know.
know?
I'm struggling with it too. I'm actually doing one like offer that's like all on demand, all pre-recorded. And I'm teaching 2 classes, and then I got a dance teacher, and then I got a music teacher. So I'm having like, and that's all pre-recorded. And I'm
Oh, nice.
hoping that if I can, and I'm making it like pretty affordable for at least for the founding family rate. So I'm hoping that I can get people on board then. As like, it's on demand. You can play it whenever, and then maybe switch switch some of them over to the live, because I can't have too many live anyway, because I don't have a lot of time to do live. So,
Right, right,
but
right.
it's a struggle to do both. So I get where you're coming from. But even with your local, I mean, I give $50 discounts to my local kids, $50 tuition credits for any referrals, and it's brought in a good amount. So
Yes, it's funny because I was just thinking about, I think I just saw something either in All Stars or somewhere, and I'm like, I need to do that.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
really helps.
I need to start doing that because I mean, they've been with me for, at least since October for one of them and since December
Hmm.
for the other one. And so I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, let me see if I can get some more like from them and get the
Yeah.
referrals and so forth, or even at least a review as well. So, um,
Mhm.
because one of the third child I just had, he was actually Tuesday, Thursday afternoon. And so mom
Okay.
did bump him up to 3 days a week. And so
Oh,
he went from
nice.
2 days to 3 days. So
So
I'm like,
was
oh,
he
that
still,
was,
you were holding the class and he was just the only one in it, and then he
yep.
switched over to be with the other kids?
Hmm.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So you're still enrolling. That's actually, I was going to ask that. Are you only enrolling for that class, or are you trying to enroll for all of them? And then if you get a kid, it'll just be the only one until you get more kids.
Yep. I was
Is that
trying
how?
to enroll for all of them, just
Mhm.
because I'm like, because I love what I do. And I'm like, oh, I want to fill
Yeah.
all the classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, well, that opportunity opened up, and I had originally had somebody else that was interested in that, but the mom didn't want her child to be the only one. And so I did
Mhm.
kind of reach back out to say, hey, I got another enrollment, but I hadn't heard anything back. But the mom was okay with it being him the only one because she just wanted him, to be in a learning environment
Right.
versus
Right.
just at
Hey, I
home with,
mean, it's
with
one-on-one
grandma.
tutoring. Can't argue with
Right.
that.
you
Yeah.
know, and so, but then she just messaged me. She's like, hey, can I, move to the AM, because I think he was also doing therapies and stuff too.
Mm.
And so yeah, and I
My
was like,
AM
sure.
classes fill faster than the afternoon. Definitely.
Yes.
Morning classes always fill faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know this being in the field as long as I've been in, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, at least I'll have an opportunity, but so we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see moving forward. And hopefully like the summer programs, at least I think I'm going to take a break from the online for summer and just
Okay.
focus on the local. And then the fall, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Library, if you're handing out flyers, I haven't done this yet, but I was going to when I was handing out flyers a while ago. Find out the story time hours at your library and then go put them on all the cars at the library parking lot, because that
Oh
means
yeah,
that there's a
that's a
lot of
good
preschool
idea.
parents there. Yeah.
Yes, I need to do that because we just had a library that opened up actually right down the street from me. So
Oh, perfect. So if they do story time, that's a great place to hand out flyers.
yes.
Awesome. Well, Cherice, I'm so excited for you that you made your goal of opening your local preschool. And next year we can catch back up and you can tell me all the cool stuff that's happening next year.
Yes. Hopefully I'll be in a location. That'll be the main goal.
Ooh, yeah. All
That's what I
right.
want.
All right. Love it. Moving on up. Moving on up.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you do get your location, or you do want to make it like are you looking to make it like a big center or still keep the half day schedule? What's your dream for that?
It'll probably be a mixture
Okay.
of half day and full day, but just still preschool hours. Like, I think it'd probably, if anything, it'd be like 8 to 3:30, if that,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Just because I've worked childcare and I don't want those long hours.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I don't want to hire a director and have them have to work those long hours if something was to happen. And so I still want to keep, those hours. And so it's funny because I want to have like at least 6 classes, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
2-year-old class, and then preschool, and then like a separate where it's a full day class is separate from the part-timers.
Yeah.
And then eventually even maybe a private kindergarten class too. So
yeah, I love these big dreams, love them.
With
Awesome.
gardening and you name it.
Man, I'm still trying to work on my garden. We planted carrots a while ago and then they're like sprouting on top, and we went to dig them up and they were these like little teeny tiny carrots. And I'm like, oh, well, here's our carrots, kids. Oh, I'm really bad at gardening. I'm trying to learn with the kids on how to make our garden a success. We're still not there yet though.
Yeah. I was like thinking, I'm gonna have to hire someone that at least like, okay, so a question, this is gonna be off the wall. I was like, do you garden?
Totally. I know. I bring down my husband, Farmer Cam, but so he helps us plant them and stuff, but then he doesn't really have time to like upkeep, and I don't have the time or the memory or anything. I like plant them and then forget them. And that's why my garden doesn't work. Yeah.
I'd probably be guilty of the same thing. So
I know there's a lot going on. The plants don't talk. They don't cry and tell me that they need love. And so I forget about them.
No, I know, right? Might have to just put it on a calendar. Like, okay, this day, remind me to water the plants. This day, remind me to check to weed or whatever.
I have started using my calendar with success. So maybe I should just add that on. Go love the plants.
Right.
Eat the plants. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for talking to me again. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to hear what comes next.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. And I always love seeing your posts and your comments in the group as well.
Oh, thank you.
They're always helpful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You have a great night. Thank you, Cherice.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.